And welcome back to Mayday Mayhem here in absolutely lovely Loveland, Colorado. This is Ms. Rabbit on the microphone for our next bout coming up, Babe City Rollers and Junction City Roller Dolls facing off. I also have with me Shanae.
Hey, it's Ricky Shanae. Well, day 2 of Mayday Mayhem. This is going to be fantastic.
I'm looking forward to a good one. We're going to do a quick rundown, let you know who the players are. I'm going to go with the Ogden, Utah group, and they're in the black jerseys. That's Junction City Roller Dolls, black with a bit of teal. That's the Train Wrecks. And we have number 0, Tic Tac Flow, 13, Melanie Pfister, 1986, Cherry Von Sin, number 23, Vulgar Vixen, number 3, Slayer Cake, number 310, Malibu Harpy, 32, Inga Management, and number 329, Roll X. We also have number 49, Canadian Bacon, 603, Lady Shatterly, 715, Bar Scar Sally, 777, Colonel Skirts, and 821, that's Pickle. We'll go ahead and get to that next roster the next time we get a bit of a break. But right now we've got some action going on, and already Lollygag her, the jammer for our Babe City Rollers in the red, is heading to that penalty box. So we're going to start off right away with Pickle in a power jam. From what I've seen already this tournament, you really don't want to give Pickle free reign because she's going to make all the points she possibly can. She's gotten through, and 5 points, grand slam on that run. She's approaching the pack one more time. We had a 4-wall in the front of Babe City, tried to hold her back, and a bit to the inside, knocked her down, recycled her back to the back of the pack, Nerdzilla, and Olive doing their best to make sure she's not getting through. She gets through on the inside for just a bit, picks up another 5 points, another grand slam, and we have Lollygagger back in play now out of that sin bin, hitting a 3-wall, a 4-wall at the front, and that's Junction City pushing her to the outside, recycling her back to the back of that pack again, and we've got Scarside Sally keeping her back as far as she possibly can. And in the front of that jam, 5 more points. Pickle calling it off.
The one thing that's really changed with roller derby is that now that power jams are only 30 seconds. I remember when power jams were a minute, that would really, make or break the score. Now you have to be fast as a jammer, and your line has to be really precise and trying to get you through in the amount of time so you can get those points on the board.
That's 15 points put on the board so far, Junction City Roller Dolls. And that's the Train Wrecks ahead with first blood on the track. Well, the first score anyway. And we have Malibu Harvey with that star on for the Train Wrecks. And Babe City is
96.
Yeah, there we go. That's the Bomber. Beside a Bomber. That's
Beside a Bomber.
Beside a Bomber.
Beside a
I'm
Bomber.
sitting here looking at that going, okay, well, I just suddenly drew a blank, and that happens. And Malibu Harpy through first picks up her lead jammer status. Beside a Bomber in the center of that pack, getting just a little bit of help, but now she's facing off on that wall of 3-wall down to a 3-wall still, knocking her back as Malibu Harpy runs through the center of that pack, picks up 5 points, and keeps going. Beside a Bomber pushed to the inside and having to recycle back through. That was Cherry Von Sin doing her best to slow her down. And, of course, once more hitting the back of the pack. Bomber is just on the floor as Malibu Harpy facing now one blocker at the front, getting knocked out of bounds by Ida Soccer and pushed back to the back of the pack. Beside a Bomber just finally makes it through, is on her initial scoring run, or her first scoring run. And Malibu Harpy calls it, picked up 4 points, held the Babe City Rollers to an absolute no score on that one.
All right, I want to give a shout out to ColoradoSports.TV for, it looks like, feeding the announcers.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Fed announcers are happy announcers. We are able to do our job. We're able to bring roller derby to you who are watching it at home from the comfort of your home, who are not able to be here at the ranch in lovely Loveland, Colorado.
And if you appreciate happy fed announcers, go to ColoradoSports.TV and hit that donate button.
Donations keep us rolling and happy.
Bohemian Bombshell jamming for Babe City, and Lady Shatterly on the line for the train wrecks.
I'm excited. This is gonna be an interesting bout because Junction City, solid team. I mean, they're a Division III WIFTA membership. And then this is, I believe, they're no stranger to Mayday Mayhem. I've seen them play 3 times. Always a great game. Always a great game. I'm not familiar with Babe City, but I'm excited to watch them play. I've heard nothing but good stuff.
Bohemian Bombshell was your lead jammer. She picked up 3 points, and she called it, but not before Lady Shatterly picked up a point as well. Junction City now 25. Babe City Rollers 3 points. And Babe City Rollers again in the red jerseys. Junction City in the black. We're waiting for the next timeout to go through the roster to let you know who's playing for Junction City. But right now we've got Lollygagger wearing that star, busting straight through the center of the pack and quickly picking up lead jammer status. Pickle in the back of the pack. And she pushed her way through as well with only 2 jammers or 2 blockers holding her back. Lollygagger in the lead, approaching the back of the pack. And the Babe City's blockers are in the back.
Calling it off there. Still 3:25, Junction City on top. It's 24 minutes left in this half of the bout.
The very first half.
I know, exactly.
It's still so fresh.
Oh my gosh, anybody's game. Anybody's bout here. That's what I love about Derby. At any moment, any time, the score can change at a drop of a hat. You never know what's going to happen, so you have to stay till the very end. The last minute, the last 2 minutes, last jam of the game.
Babe City picked up 1 more point on that last run. So we are looking at Junction City 21 points ahead of Babe City. Ida Soccer wearing that star for Babe City. Malibu Harpy is your jammer for Junction. And Malibu Harpy, true to form, pulled ahead quickly to become your lead jammer. Ida Soccer going to be putting that pressure on, as she is also through the pack and approaching her scoring run as well. Put enough pressure on that Malibu Harpy just called it off. We've got 2 points on the board for Junction City for that last run and a no score for Babe City.
No. JoJo just came out of the box, so it made it an even battle between 4-on-4 and that pack out there. So it's going to be an evenly matched jam.
I love it when it's 5-on-5. It's like everybody's in and let's play this.
Who do we have on the line for Babe City?
Lollygagger's on the line for Babe City, and Lady Shatterly is jamming again for Junction. And we've got a very dense pack. Both of the jammers having a hard time getting much of anywhere. And you've got Cherry Von Sin again holding her back. But here we go. Lollygagger gets through first. She's your lead jammer.
Notice she's doing a lot of short strides on this slick floor, which is what you have to do, short and narrow. You can't do the long strides, but it gets you around quicker.
In the first day of Mayday Mayhem, this floor was the winner, I can tell you. It has taken a while for these teams to find their way through, but I think they're doing a fine job of it now. Lollygagger calling off that jam. She gets knocked out of bounds to the outside of that track and saw Lady Shatterly on the way, said, I don't think so.
Not so much. Not happening tonight. Not happening tonight.
No score on both sides for that last run.
Tomorrow the floor will finally be perfect. It will be scuffed up and having a little grip for those girls to get their skates into, I think.
Well, and everyone will have acclimated to the altitude, which is also a big factor yesterday.
Oh, it is. You forget about that. Being from Colorado, you're like, altitude, what's that? The girls from Norway, I hear they were jet lagged and dealing with it, but they just played a hard game and they were doing great.
Pickle pulls ahead is your lead jammer for this jam is Bohemian Bombshell, trying to work her way through the back of that pack, and she just keeps hitting and hitting against Vulgar Vixen, who's not going to let her pass.
Pickle getting on the outside. Looks like we got a power jam going on there.
Yes, indeed. That's 5 points on the board for Pickle. We had a track cut there on Bohemian Bombshell, and nice little hop, skip, and a jump on the inside. Pickle picking up 5 more.
Bringing her all the way back. 3-6-5.
We still have 4 for each team as far as the blockers go, and a Salty pulled back to the back to put a little hurt on her. Pickle picked up that last 5.
She did. She's calling it off, going to reset, get a fresh jammer out there, but there's still a power jam situation, which is smart to do as a jammer. You get yourself out there in a power jam situation, get through, get lead jammer, and then you are in control of what's going on that track.
She did put 20 points on the board in that run, so it's been a very productive run. 20 points, that's enough for now. Go ahead, let somebody else play.
Exactly. Plus, we got 20 minutes left, so, you don't want to wear yourself out in that first half.
Bohemian Bombshell wearing that star, of course, again for Bay City Rollers. Malibu Harpy skipping a bit on the outside. Pulls through quickly to pick up lead jammer status, of course. Was in that power jam, no longer, as Bohemian Bombshell is back on the floor, and you've got Cherry Von Sin, sole blocker, holding her off in the front, trying to literally they're bridging it out so that she can keep up with it. She's been joined by Slayer Cake, and she picks up a misconduct and off to the box. I didn't really see. I had an outside pack ref right between us, so I didn't see what she did to get that misconduct, except it put her back in the box.
It was a no-no, whatever it was.
Malibu Harpy again on a power jam. 5 more points. That's that grand slam again.
Looks like a 4-on-2 pack out there.
I think the Babe City took a bit of a hit on that last one, and that may have been part of what went on with that gross misconduct. It was a big, dense pack.
It was.
5 more points for Malibu Harpy. That's 15 points she put on the board for her power jam.
Once again, calling it off, getting reset for a power jam. Oh, wait. Looks like their jammer is out of the box for Babe City. So we have a 2-on-4 pack, though. Junction City definitely has the advantage in the pack.
We have Ida Soccer online with Babe City Rollers wearing that star. Lady Shatterly once more jamming for Junction. It's a very dense pack, and you would have thought Lady Shatterly, she had some difficulty getting through, but she did make it through to pick up lead. In Soccer, recycled back to the back of the pack by a little trip to the inside, and Lady Shatterly is now being held back and pushed back in herself. They're really quick in and out if they get pushed outside that track and coming back in. I'm not seeing as much when you have a dense pack. They're not doing that pushback as much. Ida Soccer through the pack, beginning her first scoring. Lady Shatterly picked up 5 points and called it.
Looks like we're setting at a score of 4-67 with Junction City on top. 17:21 left in this half.
And so far, we've had 3 power jams with Junction City. They picked up 40 points on the power jam so far. So when you look at that 67 points, realize that 40 of them were unanswered points practically given away from a power jam.
But Babe City, I'll tell you, and during those power jams, they have been not making it easy on those jammers. They have been holding their walls really well, recycling them back, but that's that agility that just gets those jammers through real fast.
Beside a bomber, Ida Soccer is wearing that star for Babe City. Later Shadow. Oh, that's Pickle. Yeah, that's Pickle. I'm sorry. I'm having to see through zebras. We have so many.
Oh, yes. Keeping it all legit out there on the track, so we need them.
Yep, beside a bomber, pushing against that 2-wall at the front of the pack, trying to get through as well as Pickle has her own 2-wall in the back, getting a little help from her friends to try and get past those blockers. She gets to the front of the pack, and she called off the jam, picked up 5 points in that, but we got 1 point on the board for Besida Bomber.
Score now 72-5, Junction City on top.
And if you look at the rankings of these two, let's compare the rankings difference.
I know that at April, that they jumped, as of April 30th, they jumped up 12 spots. That is Junction City jumped 12 spots in the rankings for WFTA as of April 30th. We have them ranking at 96, and we have Babe City coming in at 129. So, you know, it's not really that far apart in the rankings. I mean, they're in the ballpark of each other. So it's going to be an interesting, but any given bout, and it can go either way. Somebody can have a fantastic day.
Malibu Harpy picking up 5.
Malibu Harpy, your lead jammer again for Junction. Lolly Gagger is pushing and pushing and pushing toward at the back of that pack, being held in check by Melanie Pfister. And Malibu Harpy once again pulling through, going for a scoring run here. And looks like she's going to pull to the outside and get a little bit of a whip there. Nicely played with Barskar Sally pushing her head. She picks up that 5 points, and on she goes.
Looks like they're good. Looks like Junction City is going to go in there and help Malibu get through with only, looks like we have 3 blockers now on the Babe City.
Well, Lolly Gagger is in that penalty box, so this is all for Malibu Harpy. Only jammer on the floor, only jammer that can score, making it a little bit easier for her. Another 5 as she rolls around, but we're seeing Lolly Gagger on her feet, probably ready to join this jam at any moment. Malibu Harpy feeling a little bit of push there with the 2-wall of Babe City. She does get ahead of Wicked Vixen, picks up another 5 points. Lolly Gagger now in the game, back out of that sin bin, and Tic Tac Flow is working very hard to keep her from getting anywhere. Malibu Harpy once more pushed out by Nerdzilla and recycled back to the back of that pack, and we're watching as Lolly Gagger tried to get through as well. We called the jam. That was a long one.
That was a long one. I mean, in that jam, we had a power jam. I mean, there were ups and downs. There was losses. There was people coming back on the track. So it seemed to go on forever, but actually just about 2 minutes.
But Malibu Harpy managed to put 32 points on the board.
That's impressive. It's amazing how fast these girls can get around this track, but it doesn't mean anything if it's not teamwork out there. I mean, the jammers, they're relying on their blockers to get them through, to help them out, but yet there are moments when the blockers need to hang back, just like they did on that end of the power jam there, because they knew that the red jammer was going to be coming on the track, so they had to prepare for that, and Malibu Harpy was on her home to push and shove and fight through the remaining 2 blockers on the Babe City side, and that's what you got to do.
Well, we've been waiting for a timeout so you could go through the rosters.
Fantastic.
Let's do it.
11-18, Glitter and Guts. Number 13, Mischief Managed. 17-24, Wicked Vixen. 19-17, Olive Mayhem. 26, Good Night Irene. Oh wait, Good Night Irene is not here today, is she?
No.
Just kidding. Hey, shout out to you. 365, Assaulta Misdemeanor. 4, Nerdzilla. 76, Bohemian Bombshell. 789, Ida Soccer. 84, Lollygagger. 9, Oh No Jojo, and 96, Besida Bomber.
We're ready back into the action now. That was a Bay City Rollers timeout. They've used one up here. And Lolly Gagger wearing that star for Babe City. Lady Shatterly is your jammer for Junction. And Lady Shatterly finds it wide open spot in the center of all those blockers. Picks up lead jammer status. While we have Lolly Gagger hitting on that wall right now. We've got a couple of blockers pushing on her, and it looks like Colonel Skirts pushed her into the inside of that track, recycling her back to the back, while Lady Shatterly gets through for 4 points.
Love it. One more hit. That's what they always tell us when we practice. One more hit to get that jammer on the outside. It's that last hit, because it's amazing how a jammer can take like 2 inches and turn it into 2 feet and get through that inside line.
Lady Shatterly through for another 5 points, as we still have Lollygagger desperately bashing herself against Colonel Skirts. The front of that track, Colonel Skirts again knocking her to the inside. It's like Skirts is not going to give up on this.
One more hit.
Tenacious blocking, making sure that the babes aren't going anywhere, and Lady Shatterly putting another 5 on the board.
Look, Lollygagger is seeing quite a wall of black going on there, getting hit to the outside, but you know, you got to take your hits and get right back up. That's what Derby's all about.
We went the full 2 minutes on this one. 3 more points on the board for Junction City, and we're currently looking at 121 points, Junction City. Babe City Rollers have managed to put those first 5 points on the board, and the very strong blocking, tenacious blocking, has held Babe City from ever even getting into a scoring position most of the time.
Really, it's amazing how if your walls are tight, if you're able to recycle, those blockers can just make it so difficult on those jammers. Getting a cut to the inside, it looks like Pickle is now the lead jammer coming around.
Beside a Bomber is getting pushed back again and again and facing that wall of black. Pickle coming up on the inside, and I don't even know the Babe City blockers saw her. They're desperately trying to get their own jammer through. She picked up 5 points for Junction City, but you know, I tell you, those blockers did get her through, because Beside a Bomber is going to be putting some pressure on Pickle as they both approach the back of the pack. Pickle calls off that jam, picked up that 1 point.
And you know, that's what you got to do sometimes when you don't have a jammer to concentrate on it from the other team. You got to help your own jammer to get through to pretty much stop the bleeding in a way. Because once you get her through, then she is putting pressure on the other jammer, forcing her to call her off. So it's best to just focus on maybe letting the other jammer go and getting your own jammer through just to stop the bleeding, stopping those points from racking up on the board.
We've got Bohemian Bombshell wearing that star for Babe City, and Malibu Harpy for Junction City Roller Dolls, the Train Wrecks. And of course, a reminder, the Train Wrecks with Junction City are in black, and Babe City Rollers are in the red jerseys. Bohemian Bombshell pushing against a 3-wall at the back of that pack, as Malibu Harpy having a little bit of a struggle at the front of that pack herself, but she pushes through, becomes your lead jammer.
This is the Babe City's debut appearance here at Mayday. It's very exciting. It's great when we bring in the new teams. I'm so excited that Mayday is the largest it has ever been. We have some outstanding numbers, teams from all over, men's, women. It's just amazing. It's amazing how much derby we have here this weekend.
Bohemian Bombshell in the sin bin right now from a track cut, but Malibu Harpy just picked up a track cut of her own, and she's setting to that penalty box. So we're going to have pop-up jammers for just a bit here as Bohemian Bombshell is released from the box, approaching that pack herself, and we still have 1 blocker from Babe City in the penalty box. We're looking at 4-on-2 for your blocker, or 4-on-3, excuse me, for your blockers. Bohemian Bombshell going back a bit, looking like she wanted to get a run at the wall of black that she's facing at the back there, but Malibu Harpy, of course, not in the box for long, and she's popping up, and there is a star pass. We're seeing a new jammer on the floor there for Babe City. Looks like Ida Soccer. Is that? Yes.
Yep.
Ida Soccer, your pivot jammer now for Babe City. Of course, Malibu Harpy ran on around, put another 5 points on the board. Doesn't look that bothered about it at this point in time. But Ida Soccer getting past the last defense at the front of that line as Slayer Cake tried to push her back. At least she got into a scoring run, even though she didn't get into scoring position. 4 more points on the board for Junction City.
That's all right. It's all it was needed to call off that jam, reset, get a fresh line out there, get a fresh set of jammers, and you know that's what you need to do sometimes. You just need to change the mentality and get a fresh set of legs out there. Because even though we may not rely on speed so much, it's that agility, it's that emotional adrenaline that it wears you out. It wears you out. These girls, I'm sure, are tired. This is day 2 tomorrow. I applaud them tomorrow. They're going on day 3.
What I'm seeing is these jams are going long as well because they just keep going round and round. Lady Shatterly pulled ahead as your lead jammer for Junction City. Lollygagger gets through the pack as well. Both of the jammers on their scoring runs. Lady Shatterly trying to get through that pack and had a 2-wall pushing her to the outside, so she calls it before Lollygagger gets into scoring position. 2 points on the board.
Lollygagger, she got through. She did a cute little apex jump there on the inside, and it was just enough to get past that wall of black and put the pressure on Junction City.
Yeah, she did not get into scoring position in time, though, but it did stop it and held her to just picking up 2 points.
Apex jumps, they're my favorite. You hardly land them, but you got to keep trying, because when you need them the most, that's when it's like, yes. It's a rush when you finally land one and you just keep rolling.
I bet it feels good because, you see the smiles on the faces, the excitement in the players when they're just land it.
Yes. First time I ever did one in a game, I remember I'm just like, oh my gosh, did I actually do that?
Beside a bomber, getting past Slayer Cake to pick up lead jammer status. And so right now, Babe City's in control of this jam. Pickle, knocked down, gets up, begins her scoring run. Beside a bomber, looking at a 2-wall in the front that she's got to get past. Tic-tac joke holding her back. Canadian Bacon pushing her to the outside. She calls it. But she did get 2 points on the board and no score for Junction City for that run, and that's a rarity.
That is. This is what I like to call Johnny cashing it. Just one piece at a time. 1 point at a time. It's amazing. 2 here, 5 here. They add up. That's playing smart.
Currently, Babe City behind by 131 points as Junction City continues to just decimate them on the floor. But they're looking at some strong blocking from Junction City, and that's really what's making the difference. The blockers are ruling this game.
This is true. I mean, there's a tight wall as a jammer. It's just hard to get through, no matter how hard your team also helps you.
Lollygagger with the star on for Babe City. Recycle to the back of the pack with a little trip to the inside. Malibu Harpy pushing at the front of that pack. Makes her way past a salty misdemeanor and picks up lead jammer status. Lollygagger almost made it through the front of the pack, but ended up on the outside of that track instead of on the inside. So she's recycled back to the back again as Malibu Harpy breaks through, picks up 4 points, and is going back for more, approaching that pack. She's still your lead jammer, but as long as Lollygagger is still having trouble getting past and recycled again, then I think Malibu Harpy is going to run it, pick up another Grand Slam, 5 more points on the board for Junction City. Lollygagger just kind of waiting for. I think Lollygagger wants to get on the blocking action. Either that or follow the opening hole.
Which she just did. She just got through. You got to do that.
Malibu Harpy picks up that 4 more points and calls it as Lollygagger just was approaching the back of that pack.
Sometimes when you're not being effective as a jammer, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I can, block a little bit, maybe right off the coattails. It's smart.
It worked for her that time,
exactly,
too.
It did. I think it kind of confused Malibu Harpy that she's like, wait a second, you're hitting me now. What's going on? I've been going around in circles a couple times. And it just gave enough of a time for Lollygagger just to get through.
Beside a bomber once more wearing the star for Babe City, Lady Shatterly is on the line for Junction City. Both of these jammers have been pretty active in the game with Beside a Bomber. This is her 5th jam and the ladies' 6th jam. Dense pack at the moment. And we see an outside opening, and I could barely even see that, but that was enough for Lady Shatterly to push on through, pick up lead jammer status. Beside a Bomber still facing that wall of black jerseys, but it looks like predominantly Slayer Cake holding her in check, pushing her back over and over again. Beside a Bomber finds her way through, begins her scoring run, but Lady Shatterly picks up her 4 and calls it.
Looks like we have Wicked Vixen sitting in the sin bin right now, taking a little break. She'll be joining us on the next go-around, I'm sure. So it's a 3-4 pack out there with both jammers out. So looks like Junction City has the advantage when it comes to players out on the track.
Babe City Rollers from Minnesota in the red, and you've got Junction City from Utah in the black. Lollygagger wearing that red star in the back of the pack and pushing forward, and Pickle.
She got hit, but she bounced right back. She took a mean shoulder there, but she just rolled on through like it didn't get her.
Yep, and still maintained balance on the skates no matter what. Lollygagger now looking at a 2-wall and now turned into a 3-wall and now turned into a 4-wall. She just sort of skated her way to the back of that pack as Pickle picked up 5 points. Pickle's put 51 points on the board so far. That's about a third of the points for the entire team at this point in time. And so she's just jumping it and jumping it.
Mean hit there, sent her barrel rolling, but she did land one apex jump, and boy howdy was that sexy.
She hit one apex, looked like she was going for the second apex, got knocked off a bit and literally tumbled.
She did. At that moment, it was just survival.
And she had a presence of mind to call it off while she was rolling on the floor.
There you go. This ain't her first rodeo.
I don't think so. We currently have Junction City at 164. Babe City have 7 points on the board. Beside a bomber once more jamming for Babe City. Malibu Harpy again jamming for Junction City. Malibu Harpy finding an opening on that outside. She really doesn't need much. She can slip through a very small part, but that looked like a pretty wide opening to me. She picked up lead jammer status. Beside a bomber, bashed to the inside and having to go back to the very back of the pack again. A little bit of recycling. In this case, not so green. Malibu Harpy makes it through for another 5 points. And beside a bomber is heading to the penalty box for a forearm penalty, and she's going to be sitting out for half a minute or so, putting Malibu Harpy in a power jam. Now we're seeing some harder blocking going on here. The front, and Ida Soccer's the very last blocker trying to keep Malibu Harpy in check, but we had it, the pack just kind of got away from her, and that let her pull through with 5 more points on the board for Malibu Harpy and Junction City.
It's a great strategy. What they did is, bridging every 10 feet so that even though they weren't necessarily stopping her, they were delaying her, running down that time, getting their jammer out there sooner, and minimizing the amount of points that she was able to get on that power jam. So sometimes it comes down to not necessarily holding them back, but just delaying them from causing more damage.
And we are at halftime.
Nope, we got 4 minutes.
Well, no, that's halftime.
Oh, that's
we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's halftime. We're doing some short halftimes here as these games progress. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a few. This is Miss Rabbit along with Shanae.
Sticker Giant helps people make great stickers. I'm John Fisher, and I started the company. Every sticker has a story behind it. Every sticker has something behind it besides just stickiness.
People seem to flock towards stickers no matter what they are all about.
It's a portable billboard. It can go anywhere.
Seeing stickers on little girls' foreheads.
Cars, motorcycles.
Stop signs, we don't endorse that.
Baby bottoms.
I see stickers everywhere. I see stickers in my dreams.
We're a small little group of people, and we all kind of have the same vision for success.
Every person is quality minded, top to bottom. We're about getting the job done right.
The quality of Sticker Giant stickers is really fantastic. We run 3 different materials here. All of them were researched to find the best possible thing we can get.
We can get your email and process your stickers in 24 hours and get them out to you.
We try and do things quickly, we try and do them accurately, and we try and get people the stickers that they want. People ask me what I do, and I go, we make stickers all day. There's this company in rural Boulder County, and all they do is make stickers and labels. What makes Sticker Giant a great sticker? What the customer wants, because we can print any kind of sticker. Every day there's a sticker to where I see it, and I just want to know the story behind it. I want to know the company. I want to talk to the owner.
We take people's passions, things that they're really fired up about. We make it over and over and over so those people can tell their story to the world.
Malibu Heartbeat. So happy birthday, Malibu Heartbeat.
And we are back, just about ready for the second half here at Mayday Mayhem with Junction City, just really tearing it up with 174 points. Babe City Rollers at 7 points. I am Ms. Rabbit, joined by Shanae, and we had a birthday girl on the floor.
Yes, we do. Malibu Harpy, she is having one heck of a birthday out there tonight. I'll tell you what, every time she's gone out there, she has taken lead jammer, and 90 of the points that we see on the board tonight are from her. And she has scored every time she has been out there. And granted, yeah, you know, that's not all her. That's her birthday present from her blockers. They're helping her get through and making some scoring passes. So happy birthday to Malibu Harpy, and may your birthday continue to bring you good fortune this evening on the track.
As we go into the second half here, we've had 6 power jams for Junction City, which they've done a good job of, or 7, and they've picked up 60 points off of those. They're starting out. This is the first power jam of the second half, as we have Beside a Bomber on her feet in that box, but that gave Pickle a quick little power jam and a chance to pull ahead and become lead jammer. Junction City in the black jerseys, Babe City in the red jerseys. If you're just joining us on ColoradoSports.TV, by the way, there's a donate button in the lower corner. Make sure you hit it. Pickle gets through for 5 points. We still have Beside a Bomber now working her way against that front blockers, and she gets through to start a scoring run. And Pickle, of course, is not going to allow that. She picks up 4 more points and calls it.
Yeah, she's having none of that tonight.
I think it's amazing how both teams, they just keep getting out there and giving it their all, absolutely every jam, no matter what. And that's what happens in roller derby. The score,
it doesn't matter.
It's just
it can change. Yeah, it can change at any time. It's still anybody's bout, and that's the beautiful thing about derby. It's such a fast-paced sport that you gotta pay attention. And even if you don't know what's going on right away, it's still interesting and amazing to watch. And you just have to give mad props to those girls, because what they do on skates, you can only dream about.
Malibu Harpy, lead jammer for Junction City. She pulled through pretty quickly, found a little bit of opening on the inside. Lolly Gagger with the star on for Babe City, pushing her way through the pack, and she's facing a 3-wall in the front. A pretty aggressive blocking, holding her in play. Mischief managed coming up a bit, but she had to give up trying to help her to try and keep Malibu Harpy behind. Malibu Harpy working from the back of the pack, trying to get through herself, as Lolly Gagger still going kind of back and forth, still playing with the same blockers in the front that she's had for a while. That's Cherry Von Sin holding her back, and now we have Tic Tac Flow as well, making sure she's not going anywhere, trying their best to push her out, and she stayed in bounds just barely on one skate, riding that rope.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, what they do on these skates, it's amazing. And they make it look so easy, but in reality, in their head, they're thinking, oh, good gosh, I just want to stay in.
2 more points on the board for Malibu Harpy, and that's bringing Junction City up to 185. Babe City at 7 points. They're 178 points down, but they're putting their all into absolutely every jam as we continue into the second half.
Just started, 27 minutes left in the second half. So, you know, it's going to be a whole 27 minutes full of derby action.
Babe City putting Olive Mayhem on a jammer star for the very first time. This is her first time fresh jammer on the floor for Babe City. Junction City has Lady Shatterly on the floor wearing that star.
She made her presence known to Lady Shatterly. She hit her to the inside and then started going back, and Lady Shatterly almost got a cut because she almost came in too soon on that one, which is smart as a jammer. You can hit too.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave all the fun to the blockers. You can hit her off that line, and, you know, it's quite effective.
Oh, half the fun is they can hit her first.
Exactly. You can hit any, you can engage anywhere on the track. Oh, she is through and she is ready to roll.
Olive Mayhem is lead jammer for Babe City. She just got lead, and in her excitement and moving her arms around, they took that as a calling off the jam. And dude, that was the Babe City's first time through, and that's what she did. She was excited, and she was just moving her arms around.
I think it was part of her stride too. I don't think she actually touched her hips.
Well, now that's not our call,
Nope,
and
it's
that's
not.
exactly what the jam ref called, and that's
how
what
it
we
is.
have going on. And sadly, Babe City did not get a jammer on the floor in time. Pickle is jamming solo for Junction City. Babe City did not get a star on the floor in time. I think perhaps they were waiting for, you know, maybe an official review to be called or something, and they didn't call a timeout. They didn't stop it, and so Pickle is a solo jammer out there, kind of an unnatural power jam.
Exactly. This is a 2-minute power jam if she wishes it to be.
It's totally up to her. She's the only jammer in play for this jam. She's already put 5 points on the board, and now she's putting another grand slam on there. Natural grand slam. All the blockers are on the floor.
But I'll tell you what, I guarantee you that Babe City is not going to make those points easy to get for Pickle. They're out there alone. They are the only line of defense, so they're going to make her work for them. They already are.
A bit of a push back, trying to get Pickle out of bounds, and she's going up again and again. In that case, Bohemian Bombshell literally knocked her down, but they hadn't kept her out yet, and a very hard, we had an, I guess, direction of play penalty there.
Going to Oh No JoJo, sending her out.
And Pickle continues in this her own personal jam as the only jammer. Again, Babe City not putting a jammer on the floor in time. When they say 5 seconds, you have got to get there.
They're not kidding.
No, they're not.
I think that's like the jammer's worst nightmare. is not being out there and then maybe not having your star on the correct way.
Yeah.
So
another 5 points on the board for Pickle. And did she call that? I really couldn't tell.
last time I checked, she had only a few seconds left on the track, so she may not have. But needless to say, that was roughly about a 2-minute power jam for her.
That was 24 points put on the board, just given away.
Yep. But I think that Babe City has had a moment, regroup, talked on the bench, and they're going to come back. They're going to come back with some vengeance now. Like I said, it's the beauty of roller derby. Anything can happen during any jam.
Malibu Harpy wearing that star for Junction City in the black jerseys, and Olive Mayhem, her second time jamming for Babe City, wearing the red jerseys.
Looks like jammers are literally pushing the pack. Both jammers just pushing them around that corner.
Well, these blockers are just so dense right now. It's not just walls. We're talking about a block.
Yeah. it's a whole building they're running into.
And we've got some spreading out of it. Malibu Harpy still pushing against the four wall in the back of that pack. Olive Mayhem got through, is your lead jammer, only using one arm to try and get that crowd fired up. And I
Smart.
guess, yeah, she learned a lesson there. And we have Babe City with the lead jammer status.
Ooh, getting a little pushback there.
Yes, indeed. Olive Mayhem facing a really tough wall. It might just be two, but there are two people pushing hard. And look, both of those jammers knocked out of bounds to the outside about the same time. It looks like they're just kind of skating along to the back of the pack. Malibu Harpy making her way through now to begin her scoring run. She finished her initial pass, and she took quite a long time doing it. Olive Mayhem picks up the 4 points, calls the jam.
That's how it is. Remember, 4 points won is still 4 points more than you had when you started.
And that brings Babe City up to 11 points. Junction City past that 200 point. They're 198 points behind Junction City at this time.
Got 21 minutes and 30 seconds left in this half. So, and then coming up next, we have yet more derby action on the track.
We love more derby action.
You know, it never gets old.
Never does. Lollygagger wearing the star for Babe City. Lady Shatterly already ahead as your lead jammer with Junction City. And Lollygagger pushed to the inside of that track, recycled back to the back. We have a no pack, which is giving Lady Shatterly a free run at the front, picking up 5 more points for Junction City. Lollygagger once more recycled back. Very solid walls, and they just keep pushing her to the inside. She's right along that inside, and she's going to take a bit now. Lollygagger moving to the outside, maybe hoping that she's not going to spend as much time out of bounds. Back to the inside again, and down she goes.
That's a hard hit.
Yeah.
Right to the chest. That made my chest hurt, but she's up. She's up.
Lady Shatterly looking to put another 5 points on the board as she continues to push her way through. Lollygagger has a forearm and is setting to the sin bin. That's putting Lady Shatterly in a power jam. 5 more points on the board. As she approaches that pack to try and pick up more points, she just kind of zigs and zags a little way through. She's being held in check right now by Ida Soccer, really doing her best to hold her back.
She was just, her team was bridging, trying to keep a pack in play. She was just trying to waste as much time as she could to keep her from scoring more points.
That last 5 points going to Lady Shatterly, putting her at 20 points on the board for this jam.
Looks like we are sitting at 2:29 to 11 with Junction City on top. 19 and a half minutes left in this half of the bout. And I'm just wondering how they do this. I mean, it's amazing. They go out there, they give their heart, they get bruised and broken. I'm sure, they probably feel whatever happened to them yesterday, this morning, but they're out here and they're giving it their all. Oh, that rope tripped her up.
A very solid hit by Bohemian Bombshell, pushing Pickle completely to the outside. She was almost through the pack, almost picked up lead, but Bohemian Bombshell just said, I don't think so. You're going to take a little spin. Lollygagger did make her way through right at the center, and again, Babe City with lead. Lollygagger speeding around as fast as she can. And we're looking at Pickle making it through the pack. Lollygagger calling it off as she goes to the outside. Lollygagger picking up 3 points. 3 points on that run. That's going to put Babe City Bombers at 14 points and Junction City Roller Dolls at 229. They're looking at a 215-point deficit as they line up for the next one.
I love the fact that both of these teams are not from Colorado, so in a way it kind of evens the playing field with the altitude factor. Utah's a little bit more, but still.
Well, they say it takes about 2 days to acclimate, and I think they've made it. Malibu Harper is your lead jammer. She made it through the pack right away. Oh, the side of bomber is down.
Oh, no.
The Side Bomber down with an injury as we have the medical team going out there. We take a moment here and we'll find out what's going on. They're clearing the floor, calling off the jam completely.
It's the hardest part about roller derby.
It always is, but I tell you, with all the hard hits and this polished concrete floor these ladies have hit over and over and over again, I'm just really amazed, though they haven't really taken anybody completely out with an injury.
Yeah.
So far, every time I've seen them go down, they have managed to get back up and roll off that floor. Let's look at some stats we have going on here. Malibu Harpy, the birthday girl, sitting at 92 points that she's picked up so far during this game. The second most high score is Pickle, and you have Junction City running on a 3-jammer rotation. So those points go 92 to Malibu Harpy, 88 to Pickle, and 49 to Lady Shatterly.
Olive Mayhem, she's one of the newer jammers that Babe City has brought out, and each time she's gone out there she has taken lead jammer, so she has been effective for the Babe City, which is great. I mean, that's something that they need right now. But we also have Lollygagger out there. She has gotten out about 11 times, taken lead about 3, bringing in some more points for the team. So it's kind of nice to have a larger jammer pool because it gives your jammers a chance to refresh. I am impressed that Junction City has a 3-jammer rotation and they're doing as well as they are.
If you just tuned in, we have an injury on the floor, so we are in an official timeout. We have people, of course, medics out there right away. We have hats off to the medical crew. Hats off to all the volunteers during Mayday Mayhem.
Because most everybody here is a volunteer, and we love that. They're here for the love of Derby, for the love of the girls, to make sure everybody's safe, to make sure that this is all done official, that it's played right. So, skating officials, non-skating officials, medical team, announcers, everybody, we just appreciate all of the work that they've done here. And if you appreciate what you see, and you appreciate the sport and the fact that you're getting this streamed to you, there is a donate button that you can go ahead and click on and show your support right there. Oh boy, she's up and she is rolling. We love to see that.
Beside a bomber being up and rolling. It looks like she's got one skate off as she's heading out. We'll find out perhaps more information later. If somebody runs up and lets us know.
Exactly.
And if not, well, if you're a big fan of Beside a Bomber and the Babe City Rollers, keep an eye on their Facebook page because they're bound to let you know what's going on right there.
We hate to see them fall, and we love to see them get back up.
There you go.
But that's the name of roller derby. You fall 4 times, and you get back up 5. So
there you go. We're going to be getting back to the action now with Lollygagger wearing that star for the Babe City Rollers. Lady Shatterly is your Junction City jammer, and a slow start as, again, a very dense pack there.
Olive Mayhem, she's doing a little backwards action there, trying to keep control with her blockers of where the Junction City jammer was.
Nerdzilla coming to the front, trying to hold Lady Shatterly back. She does not manage, and we've got lead jammer to Lady Shatterly. And Lollygagger through the pack as well. Both jammers on there scoring runs. Lady Shatterly just breezed on past the inside, picked up 4 points, and that gave her now 233 points for Junction City. Babe City Rollers still at 14.
17 minutes left in the half.
Looks like it's 219 point spread going on between the two teams. Again, we have the Babe City Rollers in red and the Junction City Roller Dolls in black.
If you're looking at the score, 99 points have been picked up in 10 power jams by the Junction City game, and that's a big part of it. We'll be getting an update on the Side of Bomber after the broadcast, so they'll be able to let you know. That's a good reason to stay tuned in to ColoradoSports.TV to keep up what's going on right here at Mayday Mayhem.
Ooh, slick little move there for Ida Soccer. She just did a little slip on by. That was nice. Love it when they do that. Ooh.
Your lead jammer is Pickle with Junction City, and she took a hard hit down to the floor, calls it off. No score added for either side for that one. We are still currently at Babe City 14, Junction City 233.
We have just under 16 minutes left in this half of the bout. So still a lot of derby action to happen.
We are on Jam 31 right now. Woo. With Lollygagger wearing the star for Babe City. Malibu Harpy is your jammer for Junction City.
Looks like Lollygagger is not wearing the star anymore.
Ooh. She has passed it onto the pivot, and it has now gone to a pivot jammer.
Olive Mayhem.
Olive Mayhem, who got pushed to the inside and is now being recycled back to the back of that pack. Malibu Harpy in the penalty box. She popped in there so quickly with a track cut. And so we're looking at Olive Mayhem pushing against that wall, two wall at least in the front with Junction City, trying to get through at her bid, her chance to pick up lead.
We got Nerdzilla going to the box for it looks like a multiplayer. Red Rover, you gotta let them go through when they try to come on over.
And because she is a pivot jammer, she cannot be lead, but she can score points, and she is on a scoring run. Malibu Harpy on the floor out of that penalty box as well. She will not be eligible for lead. And we got 5 points on the board for Olive Mayhem. With Babe City, we're going to go the full 2 on this one. 4 points on the board there for Malibu Harpy on that run. And now we're going to see how strong the blockers are. Because when you're going the full 2 minutes and it's nothing, it's nothing but blockers now.
Exactly. And it looks like Junction City has a bit of the advantage going on because they have 3 blockers to Babe City's 2. So, but, one extra blocker may not make too much of a difference, but chances are it will.
4 more points on the board for Babe City as Olive Mayhem made it through that pack again. Malibu Harpy picked her way through a little bit on the inside, picked up 4 more points for Junction City. And we've gone the full 2 minutes. We have 0-0 on that last part. And what we're looking at then is 13 additional points for Junction City with Malibu Harpy, bringing them to 246. And points added there for Babe City, 9 more points on the board, bringing them to 23.
Got just over 13 minutes left. Oh, looks like we have somebody joining us.
Ida Soccer wearing that star for Babe City. Lady Shatterly jamming for Junction. Lady Shatterly at a 60% lead jammer status on her runs through, picking up 6 out of 10 times. Oh, it's like she hit a brick wall right there.
Ooh, she hit it hard. Looks like we have beside a bomber sitting on her bench. She is wrapped up, but she is at least able to come out and watch her team continue.
And both of these jammers having a very hard time getting through. You got Bohemian Bombshell really holding Lady Shatterly back long enough to let Ida Soccer get through. Babe City with Ida Soccer has lead jammer status. Lady Shatterly straight chasing her down is going to be forcing that call.
When it comes to a foot race and they're right on your tail, it's best just to call it off, not get greedy, because you never know what's going to happen when you hit that pack.
No score on either team for that last run through. We still have Babe City down by 223 points. Junction City at 246. Babe City at 23.
Looks like we have Pickle out again, wearing the star, and she's going up against Lollygagger, right?
Yes, indeed. That's what we have going on. And again, they're just getting it really tight. But look at Pickle zigging and zagging and rather quickly pushing her way through to pick up lead jammer.
Little bob and we've never heard anybody. It's all about that agility sometimes. Got to keep moving your feet. You never stop, because when you stop and you just roll, that's when you're going to get hit. That's when you're going to get into a position where you cannot get out of it.
Pickle going to the outside, going to the inside, finding her hole and picking up 5 points as she pulls herself around for another scoring run. Lollygagger recycled back to the back of the pack by Rolex, and still just bashing herself against that wall with four wall. Getting a little help from her friends there as Babe City blockers come into play. But she still gets knocked out of bounds, recycled back, and Pickle putting another 5 on the board for Junction City as she rolls on through the blockers.
That right there is one of the jammer's worst nightmares, is when the opposing team's blockers just keeps rolling back. It's just so frustrating as a jammer. It really is. But it inspires you to get in that track a little faster then.
Another 5 points on the board for Junction City, and we still have Lollygagger trying to get through. At least she's toward the front now, and the wall that's keeping her in play is in the front of that pack. And, she almost gets past. Gets knocked out of bounds again, recycled back, and while that's going on, we have Pickle picking up another 5. Multiplayer block sending Nerdzilla to the box. That's not going to help Babe City out as they're down another blocker, but Lollygagger does make it through.
Pickle, fancy footwork there. Missed that hip on that on corner 2 and was able to stay in, get those points, and call it off. We are just under 10 minutes now. 9:45 left in this half.
Pickle just put 29 points on the board.
Not too shabby.
No, not indeed. And that brought Junction City Roller Dolls to 275 points. Babe City at 23 still. Still looking for a good break here. It looks like we've got a timeout called. I think it was Babe City that called it. Oh, no, we have, yes. It looks like we got an official review in play right now. So an official timeout. And I tell you what, we're having a great time here at Mayday Mayhem in Loveland, Colorado.
And this would not be possible. We'd like to thank the ranch for having us here this year. It allows us to have 2 tracks going on, 2 tracks of derby, which means we can have double the pleasure, double the fun, double all the derby craziness this weekend. I love it. And we want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors for keeping us fed and happy. ColoradoSports.TV for putting us up on the air so that all of these teams, because a lot of them are obviously out of state, out of town, out of country, so their friends, family, fellow teammates that weren't able to make it can watch and get all the derby action, cheer them on at home. I'm sure that a lot of them are posting to their Facebook page, sending them text messages, just encouraging them, which is amazing. So we want to say thank you. And if you want to say thank you to Colorado Sports TV, there is that little donate button. It doesn't hurt to push it. Trust me, it doesn't bite. I've done it myself. So it's painless.
Well, ColoradoSports.TV is keeping the archives available. They're providing this absolutely free of charge, and it is not free to them. There's equipment. Of course, we do have volunteers involved, but we have these amazing headsets.
I'm so excited.
They're great, these headset mics, and I know that had to put them back a pretty penny.
Oh, yeah. Some radio stations I've been at have them with duct tape and love. These are classy.
Hey, they were purchased just for Mayday Mayhem so that we could sound the best we could possibly sound when you're listening to us. So, hey, do us a favor. Go to that lower right-hand side of your screen. Hit your donate button. If you can give $1, great. If you can give 10, great. If you're Daddy Warbucks and you can toss 100 their way, they will love you for it. And we all want to make sure ColoradoSports.TV continues keeping all the derbies on the air.
This is true. It is helping to bring roller derby to the World Wide Web, and everybody should see roller derby because it's pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. Not just saying that. I'm not biased or anything. So.
Now, when my husband and I were making the trip from Chattanooga, Tennessee, here to Loveland, Colorado, every place we stopped, if we talked to people and we told them, we're heading to a roller derby tournament.
Oh, people get so excited about it.
And the fun part about it is everyone we spoke to about it not only knew what roller derby was, most of them could tell us who their local teams were, and a few of them could even tell us who their local teams played. And that's exciting to know that derby is that well known.
I love it. Every time anybody comes to me, because, I'm all over the state of Colorado, they're like, oh, you play roller derby? And I love talking derby with people. If they don't know about it, I love bringing them into it. But like you said, most people know about it.
And here we go, back to the action. Bohemian Bombshell wearing that star for Babe City. Malibu Harpy, our birthday girl, pulled through very quickly on the side.
She was on a mission, I'll tell you what. She was through that pack lickety-split now as your lead jammer.
I don't know how she does it. She finds these tiny little crevices or cracks in the blockers, and I mean, she goes for it.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't hesitate. She picks up that speed, and she just now put 5 more points on the board.
Give her an inch and she'll make a whole hole out of it. So I found out that yesterday we had 38 countries tuned in to our feed, almost all of Europe. That is crazy, people. I don't know if you understand what that means, but it's just mind blown right here.
Malibu Harpy putting 5 more points on the board, and it looks like Oh No JoJo is now our pivot jammer. She had the star pass made to her, successfully placed that on, and was hitting that back wall when Malibu Harpy called that off. However, we got a low block, sending her to the box,
which will then put Junction City into a power jam.
Well, and you know, she got the star pass. She headed toward that. She picked up a lot of speed. She hit that wall awful hard.
Yep. It's dangerous coming into the pack hot and fast like that.
Our current score, Junction City in the black jerseys at 287, Babe City Rollers at 23, and we have, looks like a nice, pretty slow start. Lady Shatterly on a power jam as she's pushing her way through, and she is your lead jammer and only jammer on the floor at the moment. Oh No JoJo now standing up in that penalty box means she's going to be hitting the floor again in just a few seconds. We had a multiplayer block that sent
Nerdzilla to the penalty box.
Yes, indeed.
Making it a 3-4 pack.
And now Oh No JoJo pushing her way through that wall in the back of the pack, and she did successfully get through to start her scoring run. Lady Shatterly in the center of that, only picking up 3 and then calling it.
Hey, 3's better than nothing.
There you go.
Keeping the other side scoreless, am I right?
Yes, indeed, she did. Babe City Rollers still at 23 points. They are 267 points down, as Junction City has 290 points on that board.
We have just about 6.5 minutes left of gameplay in this bout that we have this evening. So don't go anywhere, though. You never know what's going to happen.
Nope, that's an absolute fact. So far, we've got some very successful blocking going on with Junction City. And Pickle gets through. Your lead jammer there for Junction City. Ida Soccer battling her way through, and her blockers are coming in and running interference for her. She zigs from the outside to the inside and gets through to begin her scoring run as Pickle approaches that pack, makes her way through, calls it off after she got her 4 points.
This is true. Nerdzilla came out of the box, ran back into one of the Junction City girls, knocked her down, and was sent right back to the box. So Babe City will be starting off with only 3 blockers for this jam. And Junction City will have a full force of 4. Oops, looks like we're going to have a timeout here.
It looks like we're having a little bit of an official timeout as we have the jam refs head to the NSOs here at the table. Our non-skating officials have done an amazing job. And let me tell you, there's another big tournament going on in Denver, just a little ways down the road. You've got the thin air throwdown going on.
Yep.
And that's really putting a strain on all of the resources in Colorado. We're running 2 tracks here. They're running 1 track there. Tournament, all the derbies here in Colorado. And it's just been a great time here. A good set of officials. I've seen some amazing calls from our Team Zebra.
Yes.
As our skating officials are doing a great job. And our NSOs, our non-skating officials, staying on top of everything, no matter how you look at it. It's been a great couple of days so far. And looking forward to what's going to happen the rest of tonight and tomorrow.
Exactly. And the best thing about the Zebras that we have out here is that many people don't stop to think that they get tired too. They're out there skating just as hard, going around making sure everything is legal and legit. So they too get tired, and we appreciate all of their work.
Malibu Harpy found an opening on the outside, pulled ahead as your lead jammer. Olive Mayhem is wearing that star for Babe City. She almost made it through to the front of that pack, but gets knocked down on the inside of the track and recycled back as Malibu Harpy quickly approaches on the outside. A little bit of hop, skip, and jump as she gets past the forward blocker, putting 5 more points on the board for Junction City. Olive Mayhem pushing her way through the wall at the front, and she gets past.
She did a little...
Oh, no, forearm.
Sending her to the box.
Sending her to the box for a forearm, and that's putting Malibu Harpy, the birthday girl, in a power jam. Another 5 points on the board for Junction City as they continue. Malibu Harpy has already put 122 points on the board, and she continues to go for more during this power jam. And that's 5 more for Junction City as we continue. We have... I don't know how far along we are in this jam, but I bet she's just gonna keep going.
Looks about 30 seconds or so, but we have about 4 minutes left in this bout total.
Another 5 minutes, and she does call it off. And we've got a bit of a time going on now. Junction City has passed the 300-point mark with that 20 points put on the board by Malibu Harpy on that last run. Babe City Rollers still at 23. Junction City 318.
So if you haven't been able to watch Derby all weekend, which I know it happens, we got to work and whatnot, and you want to go back and look and see what all happened, there have been 49 total bouts this weekend. There will be 49 total bouts on ColoradoSports.TV. So go ahead and keep track of them, keep up with them. That is a whole lot of Derby.
Oh, yes, it is.
49.
And, if you want to do a Derby marathon, just watching Mayday Mayhem alone, there you go.
Exactly. Get your PBR, get you some popcorn, some pretzels, sit back on the couch and just watch nothing but Derby. Ooh.
Whoa, Lollygagger is your lead jammer with Babe City.
She is also in a power jam situation. We just had Lady Shatterly go to the box.
Lollygagger pushing against the 2-wall in the front, getting a little help from her friends. A quick pop over opened it up for her. She puts 5 points on the board for Babe City with just 2 minutes and 43 seconds left on that clock. She's going to continue to run through on this power jam, and she gets another grand slam. 5 more points on the board for Lollygagger. Lady Shatterly back on the track, literally right behind her, forcing her to call that jam off. We have no score for either on that last run, so 10 points for Lollygagger on the board for Babe City, bringing them to 33 points. Junction City still at 318.
Narrowing the gap a little bit. Only 285 separating the teams.
And 2 minutes left on the clock before this game ends. It's been a hard-fought game for Babe City. They've just really been putting their all into it. And Junction City is trying their best to secure their next space in the tournament. Bohemian Bombshell wearing that star for Babe City, and Pickle is jamming for Junction City. Pickle has a 71% lead jammer status, and looks like she popped through again now, picking it up 10 out of 14 jams. She is sitting there with 121 points on the board right now with Pickle.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
She's approaching the back of that pack. Look at that. She found an opening on the inside that I couldn't see and put 5 more points on the board for Junction City. Back block is going to put Nerdzilla in the penalty box.
It's amazing how they can make it look so easy when they slip through those holes. And next thing you know, as a blocker, you're like, wait, where'd she go? And she just passes you. Pickle is slick like that.
Nerdzilla, of course, is your pivot jammer. She had a successful star pass going on in all of that pack, but got immediately, as soon as she got that star on, sent to the penalty box. And Pickle in a power jam again.
I love it. Teammates helping her out there, blockers coming in, breaking up that wall that she was going to approach on a power jam. So, you know, you got to have that happen. Your blockers got to take care of you, and you got to take care of your blockers. It's not just one position. It's everybody out on that track.
Another 5 points on the board for Junction City. And we have Nerdzilla back in the play as she finishes her initial run through the pack rather quickly. And, whoa! Pickle taking quite a fall there. And, you know.
That's her second barrel roll of the night. She got back up, and she is still skating.
Picked up her last 4 points there and called it as the game clock has already run through. 3 more points on the board for Babe City in that last run as Nerdzilla picked up 3 points on her run and 19 points on the board for Pickle. We have an unofficial final 3:37 for Junction City, 36 for Babe City, and we await the official final score as the jam refs approach. I tell you what, Shanae, that was some exciting bout. And, it didn't matter what the score was.
No, because I think both teams played their heart out, and both lines of blockers always made it very difficult for the jammers. It wasn't just like a single-sided anything. It was not easy on either side, despite what the score said. I think it was a well-played bout, and I think that there was some great footwork out there. There was some great recycling, great hits, and great blocking just in general. Got to give it up to those jammers, too.
Yes, indeed. Had to give it up for them. I mean, there was some serious work, some fancy footwork going on. As you said, a couple of barrel rolls.
Yep.
I saw ladies hit the floor and pop up awful fast. I couldn't do that, that's for sure. Our high scores for the game, of course, Pickle, 140 points on the board. Malibu Harpy, 132 points put on the board. Lady Shatterly, 61. Those were our 3 jammer rotation. Junction City played through absolutely every time. And look who we have joining us, the birthday girl herself. Oh, I love the headphones on top of that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Very effective.
Yeah, there you go. And we're talking again. We spoke earlier.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. A little hoarse, but
That's all right. It's okay.
not much worse for the wear.
This has got to be a great birthday.
It's been a fantastic birthday. Definitely one of my best.
Yeah. Do you know that you put 132 points on the board by yourself?
132?
By yourself, out of that 337.
A birthday present to my team, I suppose.
Wow.
Exactly.
And from your team. So what was your strategy coming in this time?
We really wanted to keep it slow, calm, and clean. One of our main strategies is just calm, clean, together. I think we really facilitated that. We played our game. We watched Babe City a little bit, and we knew that they were extremely effective hitters, and we knew we were going to get beat up. So we tried to just stay together as much as possible and keep our strength in numbers.
Well, that's what you have to do. It seems like you guys had a real control on the pack when you were there. You were staying close to them, and if they were close to you, they couldn't get that power wound up in their hits and really send you flying.
Right. Yep.
So that was a good plan to come in with.
When you played earlier today, you had a much longer jammer rotation. You only played 3 jammers this time. Was there a reason for that?
Pulling it in, keeping it really together. Babe City's a very strong team, and they were really putting the hurt on our girls, so we tried to put in our strongest packs possible.
So what are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Thank you, and I will get murdered by Lady Shatterly if I don't say Happy Mother's Day, Lady Shatterly's mom, and all Junction City moms. We love them.
Oh, there we go. You couldn't have Derby girls without Derby moms.
Exactly.
And they're all real sassy. So.
Yeah, they gotta be. They raised us. So, highlight of Mayday so far? We're 2 days into it.
Honestly, we warmed up earlier by just dancing in the middle. We had the very first bout of the day, and if people didn't see our running man, then you honestly missed out.
They missed out on a treat there.
It was amazing, I have to say.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was like staring into the face of the sun.
It's amazing what you can do when you have a good jam on. So music makes me go.
You can't jam without a good jam.
Exactly.
That's what I always say.
That's true that.
Well, I guess you're off to your birthday festivities with your team tonight.
We're ready to twerk, and we are ready to hydrate.
There you go. Thanks so much, and congratulations.
Thank you guys. You guys have been fantastic.
Good, solid win again for Junction City as they scored 336 opposed to the 337 opposed to the 36 that Babe City Rollers picked up. And we are so glad that you're still with us at ColoradoSports.TV. Don't forget that donate button in the corner. I'm Ms. Rabbit, joining you here, and joined by Shanae, who I had a great time working with you.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was lovely meeting you.
Yeah, just like, hey, we met and let's get on the air.
You know, it's amazing what happens. So
you gotta love roller derby.
Oh, it's great. Brings people together from all walks of life, from all over the world. And looks like we're getting ready to have a men's roller derby bout coming up next on track 1.
Yes, indeed. You've got Inception looking at the Reservoir Dogs. Please stay tuned on track 1. If you want men's derby, there's also track 2. All the derbies, all the time. Mayday Mayhem. And we're going to sign off now so you can continue to enjoy your evening.